We'll move on to the other perennial vegetables we want to talk about today, which are mainly, we're going to talk a lot about the cabbages and the broccolis and all those sorts of things, because they're in season at the moment. These guys are really, really interesting.
Is that the walking stick?
No, this is a, and that one behind as well. These are an old-fashioned, these are Portuguese cabbages. They're a loose leaf cabbage.
So basically. You've been eating all those leaves?
Absolutely, harvest as the leaves. They're genetically, they're in between kale and cabbages, so they're in there. Because a lot of people have trouble with the kales. They find them there's too much acid, too much sulfur in the leaf, and that's why you get that real bitterness. Like some people don't like Brussels sprouts, that type of thing. The kales suffer from that as well. But these are quite long, so you just actually harvest the leaves. This is probably not a good example because it's been grown in the top, it's a bit hungry, but the leaf gets to about this size. So you only need a couple of leaves, and away you go. I'm uncertain whether these will become perennial or not, but I'm hopeful that they're actually more perennial based. Certainly a biennial. We harvest the leaves. You can harvest the flowers, treat them like broccoli, really good. At the flowers, by all means, come up and have a taste later with the flowers. They're really quite sweet.
And then the stalks?
Yep, the stalks, the whole lot. You get the whole plant, basically. Highly nutritious, of course, being in that family.
Do they stink when you cook them?
Not as much, because they're in between. That's what. If I could, they just smell. Yeah, they seem to be quite good. I mean,
so it's the cooking, but the after effects.
Yeah. So I found them really quite good. Certainly milder than most kales. So they're really quite good. The trouble when the advantage of growing something like this in your garden is they're easy to grow. If you go and buy a cabbage down at the supermarket, often there's transport and all those sort of things. The nutrient value of the cabbage is actually lost pretty quickly because they continue to respirate and lose, like broccoli does. Not as much as broccoli, but they continue to respirate in the Crispadrol. So the nutrient load just disappears very quickly. Within 2 days, most cabbages will lose 30% of their sugars. So it's really a case of much better to plant some in your own garden. Particularly something like this, it's easy, you don't have to worry about the harting types, you can just use it as you need it. So it's a lot more, whereas what they want us to do is, you buy the cabbage and half of it goes to the chickens, which is just not really something the chickens make. It's not really very productive. So watch out for these. We'll be growing a bunch of these later in the season, so if you're having trouble getting them, we'll have some little plants available.
So would you be growing those from seed?
Yeah, all seed grown, these guys. So you can see there's an enormous diversity in sort of forms too. There's another one growing outside, which has got yellow flowers. So as a group, they're pretty diverse.
Would you leave it in full sun?
Yeah, full sun. All these guys being in a forest garden system require extra nutrients. They're quite hungry. All the cabbage family is pretty hungry, so you want to make sure you put some extra poo and things like that. Other than that, they're pretty good. Yeah.
And you keep eating the leaves even once it's flowered?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't get any more bitter or anything like that. So they're very, very good. See, they love it. They've eaten right through the Cambrian. The thing's still going. It fell over in the wind, then they got to the tops. So really good, but the thousand-headed, it's again a very old species. It was actually growing in England on the Channel Islands. I think it's originated from there. It's called thousand-headed because provides gets about this high in the open garden. So you can, and then you just pick the leaves like you would a normal kale. Thousand-headed though, there's the clue. Produces this massive flower heads on top, and you just pick them like broccoli. Really, really, really good perennial vegetable. The only downside with them I found is they tend to be a little bit top heavy, so you've got to stake them. But when we haven't got any for sale now, we've got some coming on. We'll have them in about 6 weeks. But really exciting perennial vegetable. You can see down here. You can have a look later that even though the rabbits have virtually eaten the whole thing, it's producing all these new shoots around the base. And so one of these will last typically 5 years. So you've got your kale for 5 years. So really easy to grow. Fantastic. And it looks good. Everybody goes, what's that? You know, it's one of those sort of things.
Giant vegetable.
Giant vegetable in the garden. So it's got a lot going on for it. And nutritionally, got to be good for you. Again, there's no information on these guys, but I'd say it's at least, if not better than all the stuff that they're promoting about eating kale and how healthy it is. It's got to be, probably beyond it. But there's no actual, for this variety, there's no information.
What's it taste?
Heritage variety, good. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we use it. You're going to find out there's some up there. Christine's prepared some. So we have a taste and see what you think. But yeah, this wouldn't recommend putting it where the rabbits are, but go to walk. It's pretty cool. Fantastic.
But sometimes they survive.
Absolutely.